Not yet. Oh, hi, Anne. Nice to see you. All right. Susanna, good to see you too. All right, I'll go ahead and spotlight my screen and we'll get started. I'll mute you, but please unmute. If you have a question or anything comes up, I'm gonna put this on and we'll get ready to go. All right, today I'm going to try, if I do move around the room, I'll try to move the camera a little bit too. So I don't want you guys to be watching an empty sticky mat. So I'm going to try to do that today. Unless I stay right in the middle, in which case I won't do that. So, all right. Yeah. Fuzzy, fuzzy. All right. So welcome. I just like doing that. All right. So just briefly, before we get started, I just want to say, go around and say quickly anything going on for you. I'll start with you, Elizabeth. We'll go around the room. Anything that, okay, any requests? So anything going on with you, any requests that you may have? Aging. Okay. Not like anybody else in the room. Sarah, any requests? Backbending? Upper back openers? Okay, awesome. Does that ringing true? Lower backs? Yep. Rebalance the back. Yeah, tight, tight, tight back. Okay. Milton? Fine. Okay, Carmen? Okay. The ravages of age. You, Robin. Hips. Good. So that's helpful because fewer downward dogs. Yeah. Lori. Okay. Perfect. How's your hip today, actually? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Working with it. The slow way is the fast way. Okay. All of the above. Okay. Perfect. Louis. Lower back. Okay. Nothing special. Lisa. Upper back. Yeah. Okay. Yvonne. It's hips, and what? Of course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Michael. Oh, awesome. Okay. Terry. Hip and leg. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Because you got to. Okay. Yvonne. I mean, Yvonne. Joanne. Uh, is there anything going on for you that's bugging you, or do you have a request for the next? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Bonnie. Look. And maybe what? Needs to. Yes, yes. Perfect. Okay. I'll speak to needs as well. Yeah. Ellie. Upper back. Okay, great. Claire. Good. Okay. Laura. All of the above. Okay. Whole body. Exactly. Um, Pip, Martha, or Pip and Susanna and Anne, do you have a request? Please unmute if you do.
Nope, all's good.
Okay, awesome. All right. Anne, any requests? No. Okay. Susanna, please feel free if you'd
Um,
like.
hips, always hips.
Hips, always hips. Awesome. All right, we'll get started. So I'd like to start. Oh, change your mind. Neck and shoulders. All right, awesome. So we're going to really focus in on your neck and shoulders and your upper back. But in the context of getting there, we need to rebalance our hips so we can release our low back first. So the fulcrum of your body, most often, for most of us, is your pelvis, your hips. It's really the area where if this is all locked up, it's going to ramify down and up. So it bothers your knees, even bothers your feet. It bothers your whole body up into your head. So we'll start with lying flat on your mat or on props. So if you're on 4 blocks, if you're on a bolster, please feel free to stay. But I'd like to meet you on your back with either your legs straight or bent and a very comfortable long spine. Now, for many of us, because of the ravages of age, um, it's not that comfortable to lie with the back of your skull directly on the mat. So I often will take a blanket and roll up the front edge of the blanket to create a smooth semi-cylinder shape under the curve of my neck. So I invite you to explore that if that's comfortable for you. And if it's not, And indeed, if anything I say or suggest is not comfortable for you, I really invite you to edit and modify and throw away the things that don't land. If you're comfortable with your feet flat and your knees bent, your arms resting down by the side of your body, or something akin to that, I'd like to start with belly breathing. And for some, it's nice to put your hands on your belly to help with that. For others, just bring your attention to your belly. And as you inhale deeply, fill up your belly, your ribs, and your chest so your lungs are fully expanded. And then exhale and really take some time to push all of the air out of your back. And as you do so, press your low back down into the mat. And sometimes that comes with a little bit of a discomfort, a little kind of a stretchy yikes, that doesn't feel that good. But stay slow and steady and easy. And during this class, use any sharp pain as your bumper, right? If you're doing the bumper cars, you have those bumpers. You bump into something, you bounce and go the other way. So if you bounce into pain, you go the other way. We're not interested in deepening your pain today. So inhale, belly expands, ribs, chest. And as you exhale, feel the work required in your abdominal muscles. Even you can even squeeze your buttock muscles as you rotate your pelvis backwards to stamp the back of your waistband into the mat. And as you inhale, allow that backwards tilt to release and rise. So now there's space under your low back again. And when you exhale, again, that full, complete, total lack of air, total pushing out of all the air, that also is pressing your back downwards into the prop or mat below you. Let's do 3 more. As you're doing this, see if you can smooth your brow and relax your jaw, your teeth, and your tongue. We'll do one more, whether you need one more or not. We'll just add one more full expansion. And this time, really take your time on the exhalation to push all of the air out. And on your inhale, reach for your knees, draw your knees towards your chest, and make 2 separate knee circles around and around. So, what does that mean? You bring your knees up together towards your chest, any amount. You pull your knees wide to the edges of your mat, then push them down to the foot of your mat and draw them back together. And then both knees come back up to your chest. So, it's a slow kind of butterfly knee circle action. Can you pull your toes up towards your knees as you're doing this? So your feet are actively flexing. And now tune into your low back and see if you can exaggerate the sensation of rocking and rolling from your low back all the way around over your tailbone, over to your tailbone. Can anybody feel that? All right, we're looking for a sort of a body weight massage on your low back, your sacrum, and even your tailbone. Now switch the circle direction, go the other way, and keep the flexion unless it's painful. You might be getting a little tired in your lower legs and feet because of the full flexion of your toes, but building strength in the muscles required to flex your feet is really good for balance. And plus, it brings blood flow. All right, one more circle wherever you are and simply rock from side to side. Now, really drop into sensation. Feel the back of your pelvis, your hips, your low back, your ribs, your shoulders, and your neck as you rock from side to side. Settle back in the center. Interlace your hands behind your left thigh or in front of your left shin. Now, then put your right foot down and slowly kick your right heel long. Now, if you're up on a prop and you need to come off, please feel free. Or if you're still okay up there, you can stay where you are. Kick your right heel long, hug your left knee in close, and now circle both of your ankles as widely and fully snap, crackly, pop your ankles, spread your toes as you circle your ankles around, not just your one close to you, but the one far away, and then switch it up and go the other way. So we attend to your feet, your legs, your hips, your back, your whole body really is a part of this practice. Then switch legs by bringing your left foot flat, then pulling your right knee in and squeeze it in comfortably close, but not uncomfortably pinchy close, and kick your left leg so far down your mat that you can feel your left calf and your left heel on the mat, even digging in as you circle your ankles again. Try to point through your toes and rotate your ankles completely as far as they can go in all directions, moving all those little tiny bones in your feet, upwards of 28 to 30 bones in your feet, a really large number, actually, when you think about it. Circle the other way. Notice if you're shrugging your shoulders and tightening your neck here as you hold your right leg. Can you soften your shoulders? And maybe, unless you're dealing with any kind of dizziness, turn your chin slowly from right to left a couple of times. Try to turn your chin as far as it will go. Maybe there's a little bit of stretch sensation that occurs there. And then slowly take both of your knees back up into your chest. And we'll start right away with our pelvic rebalancing, which means you put your right hand behind your right thigh and put your left palm on top of your left thigh. Look up at your feet and see if you can flex your toes towards your knees, and maybe your heels are about knee height. Hug your knees in a little closer to your chest to make sure your back is completely flat, and then re-engage your abdominal muscles to press your low back flatter. Hug your elbows down a little bit towards your ribs, and then push on your left leg and pull on your right, but look at your legs to be sure that they haven't moved. Neither foot is further from the other. Hold and breathe here. Notice that your neck and your jaw and your facial muscles want to do the work for you. See if you can draw the action down into your abdomen. Now switch sides. Push right, pull left. Check your legs. We think they're parallel, but if you open your eyes, you may discover they're actually not. And switch at the rate that works for you. Some people like to hold and breathe and stay longer, and others find it more manageable to switch off more quickly. Remember to breathe. Take sips of air. You can even go every once in a while just to let off a little steam. Push and pull. Yes. Yes. One more round. Hold and breathe. Flatten your low back. Push and pull. And then slowly relax your legs and bring your block in between your knee joints on its widest axis. So your block goes from left to right, from one inner knee joint to the other. Then use your hands to support your legs as you lower your feet. Really squeeze your abdominals so that your back is supported. Now you're ready for a block squeeze bridge pose with your feet grounded. Spread your toes, ground your heels, and plant your arms down by the side of your body. Now squeeze your block as mightily as you can and press your low back flat. In preparation for bridge, plant your lumbar spine flat, draw your shoulders away from your ears, and then slowly begin to lift your tailbone, your pelvis, maybe your low back, maybe your ribs, any part of your body that you feel comfortable lifting. You can bubble it up here, even to the point of feeling like your neck is a little bit soft and easy and pressing down, right? We don't want pressure in the back of your neck, but a feeling of almost massage for the back of your neck. Press, press, press squeeze your block, press your heels, spread your toes, lift your hips, and then vertebra by vertebra lower all the way down from top to bottom, ripple through your spine. Once you're down, inhale, feel your low back gently rise. And on your exhale, initiate the bridge by flattening your back, squeezing your buttocks, and lifting your tailbone first. Float up. I often will reach for my head, lift and shift my skull backwards a little bit to create more space for my neck. So feel free to do that if you wish. The hard part here is when you hold for a breath or two and push, push, push the mat away to grow a little higher. This time when you lower, float your arms straight up above your shoulders like a zombie as you lower vertebra by vertebra all the way down. Keep your arms straight up like a zombie. Inhale. Exhale, press your low back flat, lift your hips up. This is your last bridge. And while your hips are lifting, your fingers are still floating above you like kelp in a kelp forest in the ocean. Floating, floating. Press your hips high. And then on your inhale, reach your arms long by your ears. The angle of your arm is associated with the ease in your shoulders. So your arms might be wider or more narrow as you bring your hips all the way down and keep your block and bring your knees into your chest. Flex your feet. Now take your arms out like a letter T. See where your arms need to be so that your shoulder joints are well supported, and twist your lower body to the left. Gaze at the ceiling calmly and quietly, or turn your chin to the right, depending on what's going on with your vestibular system today. Then come back to the center. So if you're feeling a little dizzy, keep your head still. But if, as you're twisting, it feels good to add the twist up all the way through your spine into your neck and your head, then you turn your chin opposite to the direction your legs are moving. Let's do one more each side. Really try to keep your belly button stamped down into your spine. So we're trying to keep the low back from arching a lot. We're really trying to flatten your low back, even when you're twisting. So there's a little bit of a feeling of a fetal pose in your spine. And once you're back to the center, slowly come on out and take your feet flat. Now, where I go next is to place the block under my pelvis, either flat. So try flat first. Your pelvis is resting on your flat block, which is running from right to left in horizontal mode, in horizon mode there, yeah. So your block is flat, and your bony pelvis, your bony triangle at the base of your spine, your sacrum, that is resting on the block. Your your low back should not be on the block, just your pelvis. Now, if you do this and you feel like this is really comfortable, but it's not challenging in any way, you may choose to turn your block up on its edge. So if you want to try that now, you tiptoe up onto your toes, lift your hips up and turn your block now to its narrow rectangle edge and rest your bony sacrum on that. For some of us, that height will feel more compelling and interesting. And for others, you'll say, no, I'm going back to the flat block. Hold your block to check to see if it really feels like it's in a balanced and comfortable position where you don't have to work to be here. Then what we'll do is lift your left toes and move your left heel down to the foot of your mat. Dig your heel downwards and forwards as if you're trying to make a gouge in your mat, and turn your left knee and toes to the sky as you straighten out your left leg. If your heel can stay grounded, that's great. But if it needs to float, that's okay too. Try to squeeze your left buttock, your left glute, as you lengthen through your left leg. Does anybody feel a stretch in the front of your left hip? Okay, great. Draw your belly in, cinch up your waistline, kick your left leg so long that you feel stretching through the fibers in your hip and maybe thigh. Then slowly retract your left foot and put it back underneath your knee. Now prepare for the second side. First, ground your feet. Feel for symmetry in your hips, your feet, your shoulders. Then lift your right toes up and try, it's a little tricky to get started, to dig your right heel, again, gouging the mat as you push your heel away from your head and lengthen through your right leg. Again, your knee might not straighten all the way and your heel might need to float. That's okay. Over time, we're working towards the position where your right heel is fully grounded and your leg is straight. Squeeze your kneecap up into your thigh, pull your toes up into your knee, and lengthen through your right leg. Inhale here, and then exhale your right foot back under your knee. We'll do that one more time, left and right. Try to keep your leg, toes, knee pointing up to the ceiling. They want to rotate outward to the side. Switching your sides. We're doing this one more time, left and right, as we're moving along at your own pace. Yeah, beautiful. Anybody feel that stretch? Okay. So take your time. You might hang out there a little bit. Beautiful, Elizabeth. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And if it's too easy and wimpy for you, your extended leg can stay extended and you can bring your foot that's grounded up knee into your chest. Yeah. So if it's really easy for you, let's do it one more time so we have that opportunity because for some that's going to really enhance the stretch. So what I mean is that as you repeat this one more time, I know I said two, but now we're doing three. It's a bait and switch. Your leg that's extended extends and you're squeezing your kneecaps, you're squeezing your buttocks. And then if you wish, you can pull your other knee up into your chest while maintaining the extension in your extended leg. Anybody feel an uptick in intensity when they do that? And for some, it's like, oh God, that's horrible. So you wouldn't do it, right? You just do repeat the first version. For others, it actually feels like a helpful way to enhance the stretch. All right. And then finally, now we are done with this. What I'd like to do is have you place your tippy toes on the mat. Hold the block with your hands and lift your hips and flatten it once more. So we'll go back to the flat block and lower your pelvis onto the block. Spread your toes, ground your heels. And as you lift up now, your palms and arms are by the side of your mat. Maybe lift and shift your skull a little bit backwards to create more space in your neck. And this time in your bridge pose, we'll make a very small hula hoop circle. Your block is still underneath you, and you might even graze it as you lift your hips up, shift them to the left, lower them just a little bit, and shift them to the right. So you're circling your pelvis. The further you move right to left, the more you change the dynamic action in one leg compared to the other, one shoulder compared to the other. Can you push down with your all elbows, your palms, your fingers, your shoulders, and then switch the circle direction? And if you end up feeling crampish at all, lower your hips to the block and kick through the cramping leg. Lift your heel up and lengthen. That will relieve the contraction in that cramping muscle. One more round if you're circling. Then breathe, lift high, and now lower slowly, slowly, slowly. So the first thing to hit your block is your yoga pants or your shorts, then down in through what's underneath there, then your skin, then your muscle, then your bones, then your marrow, and feel your body melt. And notice it takes a bit longer to totally relax onto your block. Inhale here. Exhale, lift again. Ah, up you go. And then again, lower. Relax your buttocks as you lower. So, bridge pose, usually we squeeze your buttocks. Try to relax your buttock muscles. Then feel every layer as you settle and let gravity take over. Can anybody feel the layering as you lower? Really be tuned to the slow iterative or slow layering of your body back onto your block. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax your buttocks first. That even takes some time, doesn't it? And then your yoga pants hit the block. Then your skin squeezes, then the muscle, then the bone, and then bring your knees slowly up into the air for Viparita Karani. Bring your feet up high and circle your ankles. Okay. All right. Now, readjust your block. If you really find the block kind of hard and uncomfortable, a nice way to swap it out is to take a blanket and fold it in half along the line of the fringes so that you can swap out your block for a blanket. So some of us are going to feel that's better. And you can certainly put one or two blankets in the same place the block was. So the blanket is not under your low back, but it's under your pelvis and your tailbone. And then you bring your legs back up into Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. Now, if you're game, whether you're up on the block or on the blanket, what I'd like to suggest is that your arms come down to the sides of your mat and you push down firmly. All five fingers of each hand are pressing your palms, your elbows, your shoulders, and your legs are pointing up to the sky. Your knees might be bent. That's fine. Squeeze your legs together and then slowly move your feet any amount towards the foot of your mat until you feel your abdominal muscles engage, and then bring your feet back over your belly button or your pelvis, and then slowly move your legs forward and down. This is not a big movement because for most of us, the moving of your legs forward means you have to really engage your abdominal muscles. Now, if it's feeling like a little bit much on your back, bend your knees, separate your knees and bend them in towards your chest. You can still shift your legs forward and back. And sometimes it's helpful if you do one knee at a time, right? So if your back is feeling a bit overworked this morning, do one leg at a time with nice bend in your knees. Yeah. So that also can be a way to modulate. If you're looking for more intensity, really straighten your knees and squeeze your legs together as you lower your legs to hover only if the work required to keep your pelvis in a neutral or even posteriorly tilted position is manageable. Yeah, so lowering and lifting only to the height and only to the angle where you really know, oh, yeah, that's well within my feeling of strength and engagement today. That's okay. Not to the point of feeling like, ooh, I don't know, it's kind of bad, I'm not sure. That's the territory we stay away from. Two more times unless you're done, in which case you bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side. And if you're doing your two more, notice if you can relax your facial muscles. And then slowly, when you are done, don't let me rush you. Then bring your feet flat and your knees bent. Lift your hips to remove your block or your blanket and come on down onto the mat. Okay. Now, gently roll to the side. Come on up to sit. You can see this one. So this one, we do a lot with hips, with blocks and straps and things like that, but I'd like to do one where you use your own body to create resistance. So the idea is that you're going to use your hand, and you've done this before, to push your knee out, and then you're going to push your knee against your hand. And I'm in control of how much pressure I put on my hand, and I'm also in control on how much pressure I put on I exert using my leg. But we'll be lying down to do this. So the idea is that you're working your inner thigh and inner groin when you go in, and your outer hip and buttock when you go out. And the whole time you're doing this. So doing this a lot today is, and we do it pretty much every day, is this posterior tilt of your pelvis. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the feeling that your belly button is pushing back and down, and your low ribs are even closing together. And that curve in your low back is lengthening and flattening. That means you have to engage all of these muscles. We most of the time have a bit more curve than is naturally going to be, or that's going to be comfortable for you. And we have a lot less tone here. So that's why the emphasis here is so much on this posterior tilt. In principle, you do want to strengthen your back, not just in this mode, but in neutral as well as in an arch position. So that's part of what the yoga practice gives you, is the opportunity to do that. This exercise, however, is all about that. Okay, so I'll meet you here. The block under your head is weird and austere. So if you find you'd rather do blankets or a bolster, great, not a problem at all. The second block is in your right hand and pushing against your inner left knee. Your right foot is flat. So meet me here. It's very similar to our bridge pose, except that your head is elevated on the height that feels appropriate. Your left foot here is flexed, so your toes are pulling up to your knee. Now move your left knee closer to your chest and then further, and notice sensation and see where is the closest position your knee can come without feeling strain or stress. With that, plant your left arm down on the mat beside you, anywhere that feels like you can grab the floor. Press in with your shoulder, your elbow, and your left palm to the mat and the floor, and then begin to move your left leg out to the left with your block and your right hand, and then across to the right. Your leg pushes your block to the right, your block pushes your leg to the left. It's really your hand, but the idea here is that you really notice how much effort you can cause yourself to require to go left and right. It's all about your calibration. So if you're feeling a little tired today, don't push so hard. Doesn't need to be that hard. If you're feeling like, hey, I could really get some blood flow here. I kind of want to push it a little bit, make it a little more intense. Sure, you can uptick the pressure, but it's your pressure to uptick, not me telling you. Your elbow of your right arm ideally is hugging downward and squeezing gently against your body so that your shoulder joint is in a really stable position, rocking, pushing side to side. Now, one of the worst things about this is boredom. You're dying of boredom. So, if you wish, a very exciting option is to stretch your right leg long. Yeah, woo, isn't that amazing? So much more interesting. Now, if you're still dying of boredom, you can float your leg up a little bit. But if that feels like, ooh, that's too much on my back, you keep your right foot grounded and maybe you rebend your right knee. And finally, with your hovering leg, you can scissor your hovering leg in opposite direction to where your bent knee leg is going. And you can therefore be moving your left knee left and your right leg right, then your left knee right and your right leg left. So you pincer maneuver here. And for some, that's really interesting and fun. And for others, it's still boring. I am sorry, but that's life. Yes, modify as you need to. Take breaks when you need to. Maybe you take child's pose or curl your knees into your chest. This is not about doing stuff that doesn't feel appropriate or really the right thing for you right now. Windshield wipers are a great option. Can you flex your feet energetically while you're doing that? Maybe one or two more. And then when you're ready to rest, take both knees into your chest and just rock side to side to reset your spine. So gentle rocking. And one thing, if this is proving to be like I'm really needing to take a break, supine bound angle can be nice here, where you bring the soles of your feet together and your knees just rock out or drop out to the side, or tent your knees together and your feet are wide. So resting, constructive rest is a really nice option. If you're ready for side B, because of course everybody loves side B, place your block on your inner right thigh and knee. Flatten your back and bring your right knee closer to your chest and further. Move your leg in and out to feel where your knee is most comfortable. Press your left elbow down into your ribs and begin to move your right leg to the right with your block pushing out, to the left with your knee pushing your block across your body. Can anybody feel the action required on your in your leg, both outer and inner? A little tricky to feel the outer, perhaps. But the more you resist the movement of your leg to the right, with your leg resisting your hand, the more you're working your outer hip and thigh. All right, again, if you wish, you can kick your left leg long. You can float your left leg at any height, actually. So if the hovering left leg is too low, it feels stressful, let your left leg float at, say, 45 degrees, for example. And then finally, if you want to do the pincers, your left leg goes left as your right knee goes right. Keep your belly button down into your spine. Yes. Good, good, good. Modify any way you need to, including taking a break. Yeah. Remember that thing called breathing. Ah, in and out. Can you flex both feet? Of course, if you have a foot flat on the floor, it's already flexing. Nice. All right. I think we did a bazillion on the first side, so I'll let you finish your bazillion. That reminds me of my grandson. After dinner, he says, Daddy, I'm a little bit hungry for dessert. He likes dessert. So cute. All right. Take a break. Rest. Awesome. Okay. Now, where I'd like to go is into a stretch on your, how are we going to do this? Okay, so gently roll to your side, come on up to a seat and open up a blanket. So one of the things you might think this is weirdly orthogonal to where I said we were going to go today. If you strengthen your side body, the core muscles that you have surrounding your whole trunk wrap all the way around like a cummerbund. And so if we strengthen the side of your body, that can really help align your spine. So what I'd like to suggest is one or two blankets opened up in the middle of your mat like this. So what I do is I take the blanket and open it up one level. So I have a long rectangle, and I'll put one or two on the mat right roughly in the middle so that you can lie on it with your chest and your pelvis on the blanket, your legs and feet and your head off the blanket. If your feet are uncomfortable when you put them down on the floor like this with the tops of your feet down, a little rolled up blanket under the tops of your feet for some of us is really helpful. I actually find that to be quite helpful. So, sure, absolutely. Anybody else need another blanket for under their feet? We got lots of blankets. There you go. Pardon the stripy aesthetic of that blanket, Shelly. So here we are. We'll start on your front body and then we'll be rolling over onto your side body. So I love to meet you here where you're on your chest and your belly. If you wish to crocodile your elbows out to the sides and stack your palms and rest your forehead on your palms, for some of us, that's comfortable. For others, though, it feels better to put a folded blanket under your forehead, and that allows you to put your arms in any position that you wish to relax your chest, your shoulders, and your neck. Now, just briefly, even though we are prone and you can't see, the idea is to do that same pelvic tilt, but now you're upside down. So it begins by pressing your pubic bone down, squeezing your buttock muscles, and really tucking your tailbone as you try to pull your belly button up off of the mat. From here, bring your palms lightly now next to your chest. So if your palms are stacked under your forehead, tuck your chin, rest your forehead, and bring your palms just outside of your upper ribs, as close to your chest as is comfortable. And lightly, lightly, lightly rest your palms as you squeeze your elbows towards each other behind your back. Keep your pubic bone pressing. Press down through your legs and now straighten your knees. Try to straighten your knees so much that they lift off the mat. Squeeze your buttocks. Then any amount, float your head very slowly. Gently float your head. See if that allows your chest to lighten and maybe lift a little bit. Lift, lift, lift by tucking your chin. Your neck stays neutral. Inhale up and then slowly lower and turn your chin to the right. Release your arms and melt your body down. Your shoulders will slump and soften. Take a big breath in here. Feel your back expanding. And a big breath out. Let's set up for that again. Palms go next to your ribs, really close to your armpits. Tuck your chin, rest your forehead down, squeeze your buttock muscles, press your pubic bone down, and straighten your knees. And really pull your kneecaps up into your thighs. That's really helpful for knee strengthening. Press your pubic bone down and float your head. Your head is heavy. You might not lift it anymore, just an inch or a centimeter, anything like that is good. If you wish to lift higher, just do it without pressing the floor with your hands. I won't ask you to lift your hands, but if I did, you could, right? Yes, you can even test lift your hands and see the more you press your pubic bone down and squeeze your buttocks, the more your chest lifts and lower down, turn your head to the left, release your arms and melt down. And now bend your knees, flex your feet, and then rotate your legs side to side. Feel your legs gently and slowly. So these are slow windshield wipers. Yes, exactly. And you can release your arms from where you had them, or you can keep them and with your elbows bent. That's fine. Nicely done. All right, coming back to the center now. We're back where you started. We'll do the same thing, baby cobra again, but this time your arms are long by your body. So let your arms stretch long by the sides of your legs. Tuck your chin, rest your forehead down. Same preparation as before. You take a big breath in, and on your exhale, squeeze your glutes, press your pubic bone down, tuck your tailbone deeply into the mat, and lift your belly button. Now pull just your shoulders up so your hands are back resting on the mat. Lift your shoulder heads up and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Straighten your knees, press your pubic bone down, and see if floating your head up feels okay. If it doesn't, put it back down. Then, in this position, if your head is lifted or not, doesn't matter, float your left foot up just a teeny bit. Left leg up. Straighten your left leg. Keep it up and lift your right leg up. If that's too much, alternate leg lifts. If both legs can float just a little bit, keep them floating, and then press your palms up to the ceiling above you, not a lot, and then breathe and hold here. Inhale, lift everything, push up, lift your chest, lift your legs, lift your hands, and then float back down to the hover or rest on the mat. Inhale up, exhale, hover. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, hover. All right, and down you come. Place your hands back under your head or put your blanket there, bend your knees, and this time it's a circular windshield wiper. The slowness with which we circle is part of what we want to do for our hips here. So as you flex your feet and bend your knees, see if your legs can drop over to the side as much as is comfortable, but only as much as is comfortable. And really notice your inner thigh, outer hip, rotation of your thigh bones, rolling over your knees, etc. And now go the other way. Can anybody feel this as kind of an interesting, stretchy thing for your hips here? All right, slow as you go. All right, now one more Shalabhasana locust pose. You can rest here, stay just resting, have a little mini prone Shavasana, or reach for your strap. So if you reach for your strap, do you need a strap? Here you go, Elizabeth. Gotcha. You're welcome. Anybody else need a strap? Okay, so we're lying on your front body. We've got your strap in hand, and all we need is to hold on, whether there's a loop or no, doesn't matter. The idea is to hold on to your strap behind your body at the distance of between your hands that works for your shoulders, neck, and wrists. If you're here lying prone and you're like, ugh, I just need a break, you don't need to do anything more than pull your strap gently from right to left, press your pubic bone down, and reach your hands down towards your heels, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then relax and rest. So it can be just an upper back shoulder blade together situation. Now, for the slightly more intense variation, your chin is tucked, your forehead is down, you've got your strap behind the back of your legs or your buttocks. My arms are so short that my hands are on my buttocks there. Press your pubic bone down, squeeze your glutes, your buttocks, bring your belly button up and straighten your knees. Pull your strap from right to left or interlace your hands and hug the palms of your hands together as you reach your wrists towards your feet. If you're pulling the strap, pull your strap from left to right and reach your hands down towards your feet. If you wish to float your head up here, any height for your head is fine. Pull your strap any amount towards the ceiling or towards your feet and the ceiling. So your arms might go up at a diagonal or they might really lift high towards the ceiling. If you wish to float your feet now, that can be a nice way to let your whole back body. So this is really good for posture. Now slowly rock any amount to your left, gaze right. Pull your strap to your left behind you or your interlace. Then slowly pull your strap or interlace to the right as you lean right and look left. One more time, both sides. Breathing. Your head can be grounded here. It's okay if it is. Side to side. And then back to the center. Reach, 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 lift, lift, lift. And lower all the way down. And just swish your legs and hips from side to side. So you just swish, swish, swish with your feet grounded. You're just rolling across your thighs. Your legs can be straight and flat on the floor. And just rocking, rocking, rocking. There you go. And release your strap, let it go. And now kick, 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 kick your feet. If your feet are on something soft, especially, yeah, kick the floor. This is a yoga tantrum. Have a little yoga tantrum. Kick, 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 kick. All right, and relax. Anybody feel their calves? Yeah. All right. Flex your feet, bend your heels into your knees. I mean, bring your heels in towards your buttocks. Okay. Now, place your feet back down for Sphinx pose. Press your pubic bone down, squeeze your buttocks, and gingerly raise your chest up as you pull your elbows backwards towards the line of your shoulders. For some of us, if you bring your elbows wide onto the outer edges of the mat, it means that you're not doing such a deep back bend, and that can feel much better. You can also walk your elbows further forward to decrease the back bend. It is work to keep your chest lifted here, up away from the mat, but your back bend can be decreased by moving your arms forward and wide. If you wish to pull your elbows right up underneath your shoulders, stacking your shoulders right over your elbow joints, that is the classic version of Sphinx, but keep your pubic bone pressing down, keep your belly button pulling up, squeeze your buttocks. Lift your chest. Now, with your chest lifted, try to pull your shoulder blades together behind your back and move your shoulders away from your ears. Now, push the mat away and drop your chin to your chest. Feel the heavy weight of your head and slowly roll your right ear towards your right shoulder, any amount. Gazing down your nose. If you're dealing with any kind of dizziness, keep your eyes soft and steady. Drop your head back to the center and then peel and roll your left ear towards your left shoulder. Whoa. Slow transition back to the center. One more time to the right. Lengthening through your left side of your neck. Slow and heavy through the center. Your head weighs roughly 8 to 10 pounds, like a gallon of milk. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder and all the way down. Now, lift your chest to float your head and bend your right knee to bring your right heel towards your right buttock and turn your head and look and bend to your left. Look all the way around down and try to see your left foot on the mat. Slowly lift and return to center and bend your left knee. Look around your right. So you're looking around the opposite side of your body to the leg that is bending. Go back and forth, but do maintain the squeeze of your buttocks and the pressure of your pubic bone down. Sometimes people even feel a little stretch in the front of their hips as they do this. Anybody feel that? Awesome. Breathing as you go from side to side. Let it be smooth and organic. It's not a rigid, rough situation. It's meant to be gooey and maybe even pleasant. All right. And then come on back down, relax, take a break. Bend your knees, and this time do a crisscross windshield wiper, which means that your legs cross at your shins, then widen out, and then cross the other way, widen and cross. So it's both feet go wide and then they cross, both feet wide and then they cross. Very good. All right. Take a break, release your legs, slowly roll to your side body. Come on up to sit, and we'll add on an extra layer so that we can lie on your side body. So I told you that we were going to strengthen your side body, and then I had you lie on your front body, and that was a sort of another bait and switch. So that's the second one today. We'll see what happens. But the idea here is that we will now lie on your side body. You could do this strengthening of your side waist by doing so-called Vashisthasana, side plank pose. But Vashisthasana looks like this. And for most people, that's a lot on their shoulders, their neck, etc., and it's stressful. So we do Vashisthasana on our body lying down, and instead of the lower side of your body doing the work, it's your upper, but it's very similar to that Vashisthasana that I just showed. So what I'd invite you to do is lie down on your right side body. Sorry if you're already on your left. Option to switch your feet and turn your feet whichever direction you like. Bolster under your ear. I'm a huge fan of bolster under the ear so that you can not squish your right shoulder. Kick your legs long down the mat and align yourself like a train. Your head is one box car, your torso is a big, huge box car, your legs, right? So you're all in one straight line. Flex your toes up to your knees and bring your inner edges of your legs together, wherever your legs meet, feet, knees, calves, inner thighs, etc. Press your top hand, that's your left hand, down into the mat in front of your chest and see if you're comfortable balancing on your right outer hip bone. that is really your greater trochanter, a bony bump on the outer edge of your thigh bone, your femur bone, and it can dig in horrifically. So if you need another blanket in order to balance on the tippy point of that bone, add a second blanket. Okay. Now, from here, try to lift your feet up any amount and lower them. Lift and lower. It's okay to separate your legs as you do these lifts. The more salient point is if you put your left hand on your side waist between your pelvis and your ribs, we're looking for a feeling of engagement of those muscles. If you dig in with your fingers, you might really feel quite a bit of musculature there engaging as you lift and lower your legs any amount. The movement of your legs doesn't need to be big because you have quite a long lever arm. By using your straight legs, the force required by your abdominal muscles is much bigger. If you bend your knees and shorten your legs by doing so, the force will be lesser. So if you're feeling stressed by it, let your knees bend a little bit forward in front of you and lift your bent knees. That's it. Hold in the lift next time you're lifted and see if you can float your right ear off of the support underneath your ear and float your left arm up to the sky. Yeah, really contract your left side waist. Nice. Really squeeze your buttocks. Wow, such straight lines. That's it. Flex your toes up to your knees. Draw your belly in and up. It's so easy for it to go slack through the waist. Try to squeeze your belly in and up. Remember to breathe. Yes, one more breath. And lower all the way down. Really nice. Tuck your knees up into your chest now. And we'll make a gentle circle with your left shoulder. So take your left shoulder and bring it forward towards the front of your mat, up towards your ear, then twist open to the mat behind you as you bring your shoulder in the biggest circle you can. If you'd like, you can move your left elbow now. So your elbow makes a giant circle on the ceiling above you. Your left elbow comes forward, up by your ear, out behind you. And then finally, you can stretch out your arm and do the same helicopter circle with your left arm entire, but with a straighter elbow, right? So some of us will find that that shoulder action needs to be modified. So modify as needed to support what you need. So the twist is to your left. So as you're working and breathing, you may open up your left arm and even stay in the twist, which would mean that your chest rotates to the ceiling, your opening chest reaches and spreads out leftward. You might even slide your right arm a little bit further out in front of you to the right, which will allow you to twist your upper body a little bit more to the left. So this twist needs to be modified, but the deeper you twist here, the more you're likely to get into the upper back area. Yeah. Now hold and breathe at whichever part of the twist you like, which might be with your left arm fully extended or not. Sometimes I need to keep my left arm wrapped around my ribs. Sometimes I put a block under my left forearm or elbow. Take a big breath into your left lung and turn your chin softly any amount towards your right armpit. And then inhale your chin open and try to draw your left shoulder blade a little bit closer into your spine. Inhale. And then slowly exhale and roll onto your right side in a curled up little ball. And then gently flatten your feet and rotate, shift to the other side. So you don't need to change your orientation except to roll over and face the opposite way. Now we'll set ourselves up for our grounded Vashisthasana again. It's basically a side plank on the floor. Now we're on our left side, ideally. Or if you're not, no worries. We just have two sides. So do the side you didn't do. Now kick your legs long. Let your left arm stretch out straight. Bring your right hand to your waist and squeeze your buttocks. Notice if you're balancing on the tippy point of your left hip. You really want to be tilted directly up on that bony point so that your right hip is directly above your left. And then we'll go into our leg lifts again. Please feel free to keep your legs squeezed together if that feels better to you. But use your right hand even briefly to notice the engagement of the muscles on the right side of your waist. both front and back. If you bring your thumb a little bit further behind you, you can squeeze into your side waist on the right there, and that's your quadratus lumborum. You have a nice big back muscle there. So we're helping to rebalance your back and your hips now by engaging these lateral muscles evenly and equally. Holding and breathing in the lift if it's appropriate for you, right? You can always just lift your top leg if this is proving to be pretty stressful and kind of over the top. Totally fine to just lift your top leg. Breathing, squeezing your buttocks, and pulling your belly button into your spine. Yes, nice, Claire. Even feet could come a little forward, Claire. Yours are a little further back, which is, yeah, there you go. Even further. Yes, you got it. Yep, yep, yep. Bonnie, bring your head back for me 2 inches. You got it. Good. That's it, Joanne. Nice. There you go, Sherry. Good. Strengthening your side waist is going to be good for your horseback riding. Flex your feet. Option to bring your right arm up to the sky. Are we ever going to stop doing this? Breathing, holding. When you're ready, curl your knees up into your chest and take that gentle fetal position. So here's where, if you wish, your right arm drapes on your body like a cat over the back of the couch, inhaling and exhaling around your right shoulder. So make a shoulder rolling action forward, up, and back and down. Optionally, of course, you can bend your elbow and lead with your elbow to make this helicopter circle above your right shoulder here. When your right arm comes behind your back, that leads you into the twist. And if the twist feels good and your head is supported, you might need to adjust if you're on a block to make sure your head doesn't clunk off your block. Please feel free here to stretch out your right arm. Sometimes you get a nice stretch through your pectorals, your chest muscles here. Notice whether it might serve you to move your left hand and arm further out to the left. That can help you twist a little more deeply. And for some, that's really helpful. Be sure to stay within a range of motion for your shoulder that is nice, comfortable, a good stretch, but not stressfully pulling on your shoulder joint. You have delicate tendons there and a lot of leverage by the virtue of the length of your arms. We want to tread lightly. Really good. All right. And then when your body says enough already, breathe and relax, completely let go in your favorite part of your twist, and inhale your chin all the way to your left side, and then the other way, right? We want to make your chin go both ways. So slowly rotate your chin so that you become aware of whatever pattern your neck normally lands in. By changing it in a slow breathing way, you can explore a little more relaxation. And then finally roll fully onto your left side, and gently come back to your back. You'll meet on your back. All right. Oh, now, last but not least, what I'd like to do is plant your feet wide on your mat, rest your head and neck, and do our windshield wipers, but this time lying on your back. Okay. So with your heels digging in and your toes lifted up, separate your feet as wide as your mat or very close to that. So you might feel better with your feet in a slightly different position, but erring on the side of a wider plant for your heels, your toes lifted. Keep your low back pulling down the whole time. Even when you're twisted and leaning to one side, rotating to one side, try to squeeze your belly button to your spine. So just to give your low back a little bit more of that mobility, massaging. Yeah, your feet are active, your heels are digging in, your low back is pressing down. That's it, Joanne, exactly. Knees going side to side. Beautiful, Claire. There you go. Michael M. Nice. All right. And then come on back to the center. Roll to your side and come on up. Okay. Now, hands and knees position for some means you put your forearms on blocks, and I'll put an extra padding on my knees here. We won't be here for long. I've got 3 full blankets under my knees. That might seem excessive, but what the heck? And then forearms on your block. So C curves. This is one that you can do. There's some repetition from Monday. So Lori Your patience is very appreciated here. So that your knees are together, your forearms are on the blocks, or your palms are flat. For some of us, coming to tabletop means you put your hands right under your shoulders, you bend your elbows back a little bit towards your knees, and you're here. Okay. If you prefer, forearms on blocks can take all of the pressure out of your wrists. And where we go from here is to scoop your belly in and up, lift your feet, and slowly swivel your hips and your feet to the left. Look left and bend a little more. C curve your body to the left, keeping your lumbar spine flattening up to the sky. Hold and breathe as you squeeze your left side body. Then inhale in slow motion, lift and swivel your feet to the right, nice and slowly to give your body that refractory period. Squeeze your right side waist, look around your right shoulder and contract your right side body. Also pull your belly button in and up and shoulders away from your ears as you look around your right shoulder. Squeeze and contract your right side waist. Inhale, slowly lift up your feet, swivel. Exhale, contract your left side body. You can even push your palms together if you have your forearms down on the floor or the blocks. Contract your left side body more. And then inhale up, swivel, switch. Exhale, contract. This is your last one. Try to draw your shoulders away from your ears. Yeah. Anybody feel the contraction in your right side waist here? All right, great. And nicely done. Slowly come on back to the center. If you want to do a couple more, please feel free. And we'll just do our cat cow. Do your favorite cat cow. For some, your head and shoulders will stay where they are. For others, you'll curl your chin to your chest. Allow yourself to move through 3 or 4 rounds of cat cow just the way you like them. It's like eggs. How do you like your eggs? How do you like your cat cow? Really, really ripple through your spine, move your spine. All right, beautiful. And then we're going to slowly, gradually come on out and find our way to a standing pose in lieu of downward facing dog regular style. What I'd like to suggest is that we'll do a downward dog in the context of a wide-legged forward fold. So you'll still get all the elongation in your body, and but it will be a little bit different in terms of how much weight you need to put on your hands and arms. So the idea is this: you slowly creep your way up to standing, and slow is the fast way, so that here we go. My 2 blocks are tall, stacked very unsteadily, so that I'm not going to put a lot of weight on them. They give me a balance point, but not really a structural support. And that's really by design. So the idea is that you're standing in the middle of your mat facing the long edge of your mat. So you'll probably be facing in towards the computer on one side or the other. And just be sure that you don't have anything slidey on your mat to make you fall down. Okay. Begin in the middle with your thumbs in your low back. So dig your thumbs, any amount, into the space above your bony pelvis. And oftentimes that's the part that gets a little tight and a little, right? So give yourself a little thumb massage. And your face might do this, right? Why? It feels good, right? A little bit. Okay. Now keep that, and now bring your feet even and together any amount, right? They might not touch. That's okay. Squeeze your buttocks and then press into your back muscles and just a little bit lean right to left with your shoulders. With your pressing your thumbs into your low back there. Can you feel what's happening? As you bend to one side and the other, you may feel differential muscle engagement, a little bit of action in your quadratus lumborum, those muscles along your spine. Okay, come back to center and step your feet nice and wide. All right, spread your toes, ground your heels, and then a little bit bend your knees right and left. Okay. Now, if you feel discomfort in your feet, sometimes if your toes are pointing straight forward like this, it can feel like an uncomfortable stretch in your outer ankles. If that's happening for you, bring your feet in closer until that uncomfortable feeling goes away. Lift your 10 toes now and see if you can ground your big toe mounds your baby toe mounds and all the little mounds of your four toes in between, or your other three toes in between. And also, as you lift your toes, even out the weight in your heels, inner heel and outer heel. We tend usually to bias to one or the other. Keep your toes lifted and put just your big toes down. All the other eight toes of your eight toes are lifted. Big toes only. Big breath in. Ah. And then lift all 10 of your toes and try to put just your baby toes down. I really can't do that. It's my fourth and my fifth toe, especially with the width between your feet. Okay. Lift all 10 toes, spread them further and lower them down. You're starting to feel your feet a little bit. Sometimes you'll feel some action in your feet when you try to do all of that. Okay. Now, micro bend your knees, tuck your tailbone slightly, lift your chest fully, and now keep your spine absolutely vertical and fold at your hip creases, which means if you karate chop right where your groin meets your torso, bend forward, shift your hips back, and see where your hands need to go. For some, your hands will go to the blocks, your chest will stay high. And as you bend and straighten your knees, you can slowly start to move your flat spine forward and downward any amount. Maybe you rest your forehead on your blocks and let your arms hang down. The bending and straightening of your knees is, of course, optional. The reason I like to do it is that it's helping gain mobility and little tiny muscle actions in my legs and feet that I'm not necessarily aware of unless I bend and straighten my knees consciously and slowly. Now, you can stay in your flat back. Maybe you shift your weight further back into your heels, lift your chest more, and everybody try to bring your shoulders away from your ears. If you're folded and you want to unstack your blocks, you might slide them out in front of you as you shift your hips a little bit back. The shifting of your hips backwards is to counteract the lengthening of your arms forward so that the weight in your hands and arms can be extremely light. You can certainly lift your hips up and bring them right between your feet. There will be more weight on your arms and hands, and that might be fine for your body. But if not, keep your weight shifted back, keep your chest lifted, and really ground into your heels. Everybody squeeze your belly button into your spine. You can always turn your blocks to a lower height. You can also tent your fingers to the floor and leave the blocks aside so that you prioritize the length of your spine over the degree of bending or folding that you've manifested. Now, finally, if you prefer to hang, you can certainly drape your upper body at any point into a full Prasarita Padottanasana, also known as Dandaya Manabi Bhakta Pada Paschimottanasana. Right? Crazy. Sanskrit can be so much fun. And you can also put your hands into your elbows. Hold and breathe in the pose that you've chosen and change it as needed as you continue to breathe and allow your spine to lengthen. Let this be a shoulder and neck releaser if you're hanging. Right? And if you're not hanging, let your neck and shoulders still be soft. That's the idea behind having more weight in your heels, is that your shoulders and neck then don't have to work so hard as you might if you were in a regular downward facing dog. Take another breath or two. That's it. Anybody feel this in their hamstrings? Okay, good, good, good. And then when you're ready to use a flat back to come on up, so find your flat back with or without your props and slowly rise with a flat back. Then roll your shoulders as you rise and toe heel your feet to touch. All right, very good. Now, where I'd like to go is to the strap again for Virabhadrasana 1. If you prefer a loop, that's great. If you prefer a straight strap, that's great. But what we're looking for here is a squeeze of your shoulder blades together like this. Okay. The idea is that with or without the strap, if you're not using a strap, you could interlace your hands. But by linking your hands, you get leverage with which to scrunch your shoulder blades together. And that area is usually broad and long, kind of weak and overstretched. So what we want to do is shorten, squeeze, contract, and strengthen. But the bad news is that in order to strengthen these muscles that do this, you need to do it without your strap. It's not as fun, right? That it's as if you had the strap. So we'll be doing a couple things like that. So have your strap around your neck. Just real quick, if you don't do the interlace, you might have that loop. Oh, this one is done opposite. Oh, that's fine. I'll show you. The idea would be that you could put your hands in a loop. Okay, if interlacing doesn't feel good, if holding the strap doesn't feel good, you can use a loop as your way to anchor your arms together. For warrior one, face the wall. And we have wall space here. So if you're not against a wall already, I'll just shift this here in case anybody wants to be here. And the idea is that you're facing the wall for warrior one, where your toes of your right foot face into the wall. Your hands will stand on the wall at shoulder height, and you don't need to be at the wall. If you prefer to be in the center, that is completely fine. So, warrior one with your right knee bent, stacked over your ankle, your left leg steps back, and we put something under your heel if needed so that your back foot can be comfortable. Okay, so if you need something under your back heel, raise your hand. I'm more than happy to run on over with a little bit of support for under your back heel. Your right knee is bent, your left leg is straight. And if you want to, Bonnie, you certainly can just turn. You don't even need to turn your mat. You could turn to face the wall to your left if you wish. And you would step forward with your right foot onto the wood, and you would step backward with your left foot onto the wood. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So we have our hands on the wall or not. You have your right knee bent. You stack your right knee over your ankle and look at your right toes to see that all 10 are pointing straight forward. If your right knee is coming right out over your toes, that's your invitation to widen your stance, to move your back foot further back. Press into your right heel. Now, lift your hands up to your ribs just for a moment and turn your ribs and chest to face the wall, even if you're not touching the wall. Parallel your shoulders to the wall or the front of the mat in front of you. Notice that your left hip will be open. Don't need to close it. Don't need to bring your left hip forward, but do square your shoulders. Now, try to pull your sticky mat backwards with your left foot any amount, digging in with the ball and toes of your left foot. Pull your mat backwards and squeeze your left buttock. Now, if your hands are on the wall, walk them up the wall. If your hands are reaching towards the wall, reach them up towards the ceiling where the ceiling meets the wall, any amount. Rotate your pinkies towards each other, spin your elbows forward to make space in your shoulder joints, and press into your right heel. Now tuck your tailbone forward, pull your belly button back, and lift your shoulders right up over your hips. Big long spine. And then rainbow your arms all the way down and back behind you. Grab your strap and pull your hands against your strap at about shoulder's width or your favorite width. Pull your strap behind you to squeeze your shoulder blades. Drop your chin to your chest a little bit, not a lot, and lift your chest, but not your chin. Press your right heel, bend your right knee, pull your mat back with your left foot. Squeeze your left buttock, lift your chest. Now, if you wish to lift your gaze, send your gaze upward any amount. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Now, drop your strap and try to keep your arms right where they are. Yeah, squeeze your shoulder blades. Try to bring your pinkies towards each other. Lift your chest, soften your throat, press your right heel, squeeze your shoulder blades more. Inhale. And exhale slowly. Turn to your left, rotate your right toes into the middle of your mat, and then super slowly, hands on hips or no, toe heel your feet to touch. Woo. In your calf of your back leg? Absolutely. It's a huge calf stretch. Yeah. If it felt painful, then you would shorten your stance. Okay. All right. Second side. So how torturous was that to drop the strap? We don't like to drop the strap, do we? Okay, second side. Strap around your neck, or you can forego the strap, of course, if it's feeling like, yeah, I don't need that. I like it because it feels really good to squeeze those rhomboids, those muscles between your shoulder blades. Your left foot is forward now. Then you slowly step your right foot back to a nice wide stance, but not so wide that you can't put your heel down. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, bend your left knee. Squeeze your right buttock by pulling your sticky mat backwards with dig in with your balls and toes of your right foot and pull backward. Now bring your hands or your mind or both to your ribs and chest and turn your ribs and chest to the short mat in front of you, the wall if you're facing. Yes. So your chest and shoulders parallel the short edge of the mat in front of you, but your hips will not. Now squeeze your buttocks, press your left heel down, pull your belly button back and stack your shoulders right over your hips. Now, if you wish, take your arms up this time, pull the strap from right to left, and wrap. You can still wrap your elbows forward and pinkies forward a little bit as you lift up, 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 and then take the strap behind you, pull it from right to left to squeeze your shoulder blades together, drop your chin slightly, lift your chest more. Press your left heel down, straighten your right knee, lift your chest. Maybe begin to lift your gaze. Some people even like to look up. For others, not so much. Hold and breathe. Bend your left knee more. Squeeze your buttocks. Bring your tailbone forward. Now keep your arms where they are, but drop your strap. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Try to bring your pinkies closer. Press into your left heel. Lift your ribs up out of your hips. Nice, Bonnie. That's it, Joanne. Yeah, beautiful, Sherry. You got it. Yvonne, nice. Tailbone tucking forward. More, more, more. Lift your chest more. That's it, Shelly. Yes, Louise. Long arms. Yeah, that's it, Cecile. Then slowly, come on up, beautiful Laura. Roll, turn to your right. Toe heel, toe heel, toe heel. Oh, that's it. Nicely done. Shake out. Woof. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Wow. Okay, balance real quick. So even though it's quick, you could make it spicy. All right. Bring your legs and feet to touch. Stand right in the middle of your mat comfortably. And bring your hands on your hips. Squeeze your buttocks and micro bend your knees. And then peel your right heel off the mat, just your heel. Your toes are still there. And then rotate without moving your hips, rotate your right knee to the right. Kickstand your heel of your right foot against your left shin and let your toes be on the mat. Then bring your arms up to a comfortable position. I'll just do this so that my head is not cut off. Yeah, exactly. Now, in this position, gaze down your nose, squeeze your glutes, draw your belly in and up, grow taller. Axial extension means you lengthen your spine vertically and then soften your shoulders and maybe lift your toes. So your heel can still kickstand into your shin, and you can simply lower and lift your toes like this, hinging at your ankle, holding and breathing. Whenever you need a little balance aid, you put your toes back down. This is actually more work than when you jam your right foot up against your inner left thigh. Gazing down your nose, soften your shoulders. And take a break. Well, excellent. Shake out. All right, second side. Ground your feet, ground your toes. Squeeze your buttocks. Micro bend your knees. Bring your heel of your left foot up. And then open up your knee, but don't change the position of your hips at all. Yeah, bring your knee back to the front. Square your hips, keep your hips right where they are, and then open just your knee. Nice. So that's your tree position. You can readjust your foot a little bit so it's not torquing and have your left heel against your inner right ankle. And then maybe flex your foot to lift your toes. And whenever you need to, put it back down. You can keep your hands on your hips or take a wide arm position, like a tightrope walker, or arms to your favorite height. Do round your elbows to soften your shoulders. Gaze down your nose, grow taller. Take sips of air. Ah. And down you come. Nice. I love that sort of feeling when everyone's balancing. It's like, yeah. It's like, wow. Okay. All right. Let's come on down to our backs. Now, where I'd like to go is to give you the chance to do a gentle upper back opener. For some, it's going to feel like, not my favorite. And for others, it might feel really good. So if when you try it, you realize it's not for you, I invite you to do the opposite. So I'll show real quick. Upper back opener with a flat T, which means that you have one block long and flat lengthwise, one block across and flat like a T. And if you're not going to do this, you would actually put your hips up and your shoulders down. So for some, it'll be upper back opener, hips down, chest up. And for others, it'll be chest down, hips up. And I'll show that. So here's the idea. When you put your back down onto this, the most important part of this pose is this part of the block right here, the bottom of the T and where it hits on your back. So I like to make sure that the bottom edge of this T is right up here, up at my rib cage, not in my lumbar spine at all. So the edge of that lower block, as I slowly lower down, I place the edge of that block really at my shoulder blade tip, right down there. And then, oh, now the nice thing about this second block is that you can rotate it up to its middle height. Oh, or have it flat. And then add a blanket if the height of the block just isn't quite right. You can always float another blanket in between your block and your head. And for some of us, this is a nice way to broaden your chest, release your back, but make sure that the margin of that block, the edge of it, is not in your low back at all. It's really right under your shoulder blades. And if you're not comfortable, just raise your hand and I'm more than happy to help you adjust because it sometimes needs a little bit of adjustment. Let's get you one more blanket here. Yeah. So that will be better. And then there, and even, is that good? All right. Yes. Yeah. Not, not working. Yeah. Yeah. So what I would do instead is try this, Carmen, where you take this roll and as you rest back, take that under your shoulder blades and then head on this block there and see how that feels. And then your arms would go up and over. Does that feel better? And you can always scooch that block. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, and you kind of want that blanket to be under your armpits so that your arms can go wide like that. So your block might need to go back a teeny bit. There we go. Is that better? Yes. Perfect. Yeah, that looks really good. How's that for you, Robin? Awesome. There you go, Milton. That's it, Sarah. Anybody else finding it's kind of meh, kind of ugh, kind of meh? Yeah. So what I would suggest is let's do the one I just did with Carmen, which is to have you gently roll to your side. Come on out of this one. So you'll actually put your hips down and then roll over, and we'll take away the blocks that are under your back here. Yep. And we'll instead this. There we go. Wrinkles become stressful. Okay. So now this roll will go right here. Okay. And then your head goes here. And your arms go straight out to the side, right and left. And I might even have you scooch this way for me just a little bit. That's it. Even another couple inches. I'll move this with you. And then your arms in principle might go like that. And you might want to bend your knees so that your back can flatten down. Yeah, exactly. And scooch this way for me another 2 inches. I know it's an irritating ask. Good. And then we go like this. So this is more up under your armpits. There you go. And we want length here. There you go. How's that feeling? Okay. We want your back to feel long and soft. And if it doesn't, we need to adjust. Good. Come to me this way a little bit more, Lisa, about 2 inches. Yeah, exactly. And your arms go wide. And let's do this under your head. Lift your, okay. Mm. See how that feels? And then if that doesn't feel good, rest your arms here. There you go. And see how that feels. Is that any better on your shoulders? Yes. Thank you. And really lengthen there. There you go. Just a little more height here. Okay, good. There you go. Does that feel better? Okay. Good. Good. Yeah, That's it, Joanne. Excellent. Beautiful, Sherry. Maybe if your palms are face down, turn your palms up. Draw your shoulder blades just a little closer together. And take a big breath in to broaden your chest. All right, now you can stay here for your Shavasana. And for some people, that's awesome. But if you would like to gently roll to one side, I often do that. I'll roll to the side to push the blocks out from under me and then roll back onto my back and give myself a chance to find the Shavasana that feels appropriate. And especially because we did a lot of stuff that would have taxed your back with all that core work, you might like to do your Stonehenge, which is you take your bolster, put it up over the top of your two blocks that are about 6 inches apart, and then drape your calves, not just your ankles, but your whole calves onto this little Stonehenge. So please take your time, futz around, do all the shifting and shuffling that you need to do so that you can land in a position that's truly relaxing for your body right now, which may just be a very nice, simple Shavasana, which is awesome. So really take your time here. There's no rush. If you're missing a prop, please raise your hand. I'm more than happy to run things over to you. Blankets, extra bolster, etc. Turn off those lights. Now you have nothing to do, just to let your body be breathed. Now, very slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Start to move your body or not, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Bend your elbows and your knees and choose only those movements that are truly comfortable. You might even roll gently to the side as you curl your knees into your chest and pillow your head. If it's comfortable for your body to find your way to a seated position, I invite you to do so as you might roll your shoulders forward, up and back and down a few times, which can help reset your spine and allow you to stack your head right up over your shoulders over your hips. And I invite you to bring your palms together in the yogic seal, Namaskarasana, symbolizing gratitude. When my girls were little, they had a little yoga class they'd go to, and they had popsicle sticks with a little sun on it. And so the namaste there was you hold your little sun up to your third eye, and you say, I'll be nice to you, you be nice to me. Oh, namaste. Thank you. And that makes me think of the Dalai Lama. He says, my religion is kindness. Yeah. So, and my first yoga teacher, Larry Hatlett, his religion was kindness. He actually left the Iyengar Institute because of Iyengar being cruel. And he just pivoted to kindness. And he was a super kind man. You'd be in wide-legged forward fold and he'd come up and go, hey, how you doing? Every single person in the class was seen and heard and talked to and said, as he said their name, and people made jokes, and it was the loudest class in the country. There was a woman from Yoga Journal who traveled all around at that time, and this is when the 90s when yoga was big, right? And this kind of yoga was big. And it was hilarious how loud this class was because she always came back to Larry's class because it was so much fun. So anyway, I leave you with kindness. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Susanna. Thank you,
Thank you, Anne.
Anne.
That was
Thank
wonderful
you, Pip.
class. Thank
Oh,
you.
Thanks, Ann.
good.
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. My pleasure. Hope you all have a really good rest of your day.
You too.
Good. Yes.
You
Okay.
know.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye bye.